Hi, it's Paul Ryan. That music can only mean one thing. We're going to talk about music, we're going to play a song, and we're going to check in on Freddie Spaghetti, see how he's doing today. Over the last two shows, I've discussed the history of music from the very beginnings of what we know, and then right up till today. And over that timeline, I went over three major events, or I called them advances, each one that changed the direction of music forever. The first was Hurricane Hymn number 6. The second was the Tsoukalos Epitaph. And the final, so far, is Beethoven's Ninth. Today I'm going to look at another big event. And although it's not within the context of all music, it's not going to be a major advancement within the total area of music, but it's within a specific genre, and it was monumental. I refer to Southern-based American-style music and my own umbrella genre. Now, in fairness, genre is a word that really doesn't apply here because the music can encompass everything from bluegrass to folk, traditional roots, old-timey, probably Celtic, Cajun, and more. So labels can be tricky here, but for today, I'll look at it as primarily early American, or what was referred to as Appalachian music. And basically they employed acoustic instruments, and do to this day. The music is considered American either because it was native to the United States or because it was developed there from foreign origins. Pete Seeger once famously commented that the definition of American folk music is, quote, all the music that fits between the cracks, end quote. The event to which I'm referring was in 1927 and brought the aforementioned subgenres into the public eye. The Bristol sessions took place July 25 to August 5, 1927, when the Victor Talking Machine Company came to Bristol, Tennessee, to record musicians from that region. The music, known as Appalachian, was local to neighboring states and well known in the area, but not to a wider audience. So Victor hired talent director Ralph Peer away from a competitive label. Peer, in turn, hired a local talent, Pop Stoneman. Many of you listening to this show know about the Stonemans. Pop Stoneman, he helped with the recruiting. Stoneman's job was to seek out local talent. Peer brought them in to record their music, and they used professional Victor engineers, equipment, and a professional studio of the day. The Bristol location offered a central mountain city in proximity to 5 states: Virginia, Tennessee, North Carolina, Kentucky, and West Virginia. The end result was a goldmine of recorded fiddle tunes, sacred songs, string bands, harmonica solos, and much more. Celebrated as the session that produced the first ever recordings of country music legends Jimmy Rogers and the Carter Family, the session also featured other artists on a 78 RPM commercial recording and delivered a cross-section of the styles of music being played in the Blue Ridge Mountains. Stoneman's advanced work reveals some of Peer's ideas about making commercially successful recordings of Appalachian music. The record companies usually categorize it as old-time tunes or later hillbilly music, but it actually encompassed a wide variety of styles. Stoneman recalled later on that Peer missed some pretty good music when he rejected some of the bands that were recommended, because Peer wanted vocal tunes rather than purely traditional instrumentals. One participating artist was a young lady named Clarice Sheeler, whose band was strong on the instrumental side of music. She recalled that the studio men, quote, said her band had more instrumental than singing, and that singing was what sold records, end quote. So, to be recorded, Clarice's father wrote out the words to several songs on the spot for his daughter to sing, which she did. And as a footnote, a descendant of this musical family, Sammy Sheeler, performs today. He's one of our great banjo players. Over the next couple of weeks, I'll continue on with this Appalachian theme and look at musical instrument that rose in popularity right along with its genre partners, bluegrass and folk music. That instrument is probably my favorite, the 5-string banjo. And here's today's song of the week. This week's song is Jingle Bells. I included this Christmas classic on my acoustic country Christmas instrumental album. It's such a happy and upbeat song. And so I used the banjo, guitar, and dobro, tried to make it upbeat, snappy, happy. Anyway, it's a classic song. Here's Jingle Bells.
And now, here is this week's episode of The Musical Life of Freddie Spaghetti.
Today, Freddie's workday is quiet. Normally, he prefers to be busy, but today, the slow pace just suits him fine. He's scheduled to be the third musician at the Magpie Music Hall later this evening. Freddie is going live. How this date came to be is a combination of some hard work and blind luck. For a while now, Nancy and Britt have been teasing him about keeping his songs a secret. They need to prod and beg him just to play a song for them. The one that Britt enjoys most is the one called Talking Man. She told Freddie that he might be pleasantly surprised if he ever played it live. Partly to prove them wrong and partly because he thought the timing was just about right, a week ago, Freddie contacted the music hall's director and sent over a demo file. Just yesterday, they texted him back with the time and details of tonight's show. Apparently, a band was supposed to play that just can't make it due to a travel mix-up, and so the invitation. The music hall's one of those old buildings that seems frozen in time. It's somewhere in between a classical heritage building and one that's seen better days and should be demolished. One striking feature, though, is the odd smell when you enter the building. Not entirely pungent, and even a little pleasant, something between a very old church and a stale old library. The entry area consists of 3 large wooden steps. They lead into the entry area and a ticket counter. The hall has a 1950s-style refreshment bar and a stage standing 5 feet tall. But it's so narrow that members of the bands keep bumping into each other during performances. A brother or sister act is performing on stage as Freddie watches from behind. They're good. And that thought brings on a nagging doubt in Freddie's mind. Am I ready? What if I forget my lyrics? What if a string breaks? What if I really suck? He shakes his head. Then he remembers that Britt and his parents are in the audience. Don't embarrass yourself. He mumbled that one out loud. A country singer named Bob Hackett was within earshot nearby, and he heard the nervous comment. Kid, he said, I heard your stuff. It's real good. Just tune up and go out there and show 'em what you got. It was a small, seemingly off-handed compliment, but it buoys Freddie. Suddenly he's ready. Not just ready, but chomping at the bit now to go out there and play his songs. After the show, Freddie is on cloud nine. People loved his songs and he wants to do it again. But for now, the Lancaster Street Spaghetti Restaurant beckons. Britt, Nancy, Fred Sr., and Freddie all go there to celebrate the moment. As Freddie rambles on and on about the meeting of a real country star named Bob, Britt and Nancy take their turns teasing him. This guy Bob Hackett, he thinks my stuff's really good, Freddie bubbles. Nancy reminds him that although she might not be a star like Hackett, it was her who suggested that Freddie should get his songs out there. Plus, as his mom, she always knows best. Britt suggests to the table that they all reserve their spaghetti meals early, in case Freddie orders his usual 5 helpings. You don't want to get caught starving if the restaurant runs out of pasta.
Thanks for listening to this week's Sound Threads. Hope you enjoyed it. Next week we'll have a brand new edition. Hope you will join us then.